When most people think of divorce, they think of heartbreak, lawyer fees, and maybe a division of assets that leaves everyone feeling a little worse for wear. But in the world of billionaires, splitting up can sometimes be the start of a new, more financially rewarding chapter, at least for some of the women involved. Here are billionaire ex-wives who got even richer after saying goodbye to their powerful partners. First up, we've got a woman who not only took home one of the largest divorce settlements in history, but also went on to become one of the most admired philanthropists in the world. Mackenzie Scott, formerly Mackenzie Bezos, wasn't just the ex-wife of the Amazon founder. She was there from day one. Back in the early 90s, Jeff and Mackenzie were both working at the hedge fund D.E. Shaw. By 1994, they were married and packing up a car to move to Seattle and start a little online bookstore called Amazon. Their marriage raised 4 children, and Jeff Bezos built one of the most valuable companies on Earth, and at some point was the world's richest man. However, their 25-year marriage came to an end in 2019, and the whole world watched as one of the most powerful couples in tech unraveled, especially after the news of Jeff's affair with TV personality Lauren Sanchez exploded across tabloids. Despite the scandal, the divorce itself was unusually civil. Just a joint statement, some mutual respect, and a $38 billion divorce settlement. Under Washington state's community property laws, Mackenzie walked away with 4% of Amazon's stock. Jeff kept the remaining 75% of their shared Amazon shares, plus control of Blue Origin and the Washington Post. But that 4% made Mackenzie the 3rd richest woman in the world overnight, with a $42 billion fortune post-divorce from Jeff Bezos. She became a philanthropist, writing checks at will and giving away luxury mansions. She donated a $55 million Beverly Hills mansion to charity. Since 2019, she's donated a massive $19.2 billion to thousands of nonprofits. One of her biggest single gifts was a stunning $2 billion. She's not just rich, she's ridiculously rich. Her car collection has some insane rides, including a sleek Ferrari Pininfarina Sergio at a cool $3 million, a custom Bugatti Veyron Mansory worth $3.4 million, and a $5 million Lamborghini Veneno. She also owns 2 Gulfstream G650ER jets. Each of those is worth about $70 million. Next up is Melinda French Gates. Melinda met Bill Gates back in 1987 at a Microsoft conference. They dated quietly, married in 1994, and had 3 children together. While Bill was the tech titan, Melinda became the heart of their shared vision for the world. Together they launched the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, focusing on global health, education, and poverty. They lived in the $125 million Xanadu 2.0 mansion in Washington, raised their kids away from the spotlight, and seemed unshakable until 2021. That's when their split rocked the world. Their divorce was finalized in August 2021 with very few details released, but you don't need receipts to know it was massive. Most estimates peg Melinda's settlement at around $76 billion. That instantly made her one of the wealthiest women in history. Her net worth skyrocketed to over $30 billion after the divorce. But like Mackenzie, Melinda didn't disappear into luxury. She continued her work at the foundation for a while, then quietly stepped back to focus on her own initiative, Pivotal Ventures. Next up is Sue Ann Arnold. This one is a bit more under the radar, but no less jaw-dropping. Harold Hamm is a self-made oil magnate who founded Continental Resources, one of the biggest players in America's shale oil boom. His wealth, once peaking at $13.7 billion, made him one of the richest men in energy. Sue Ann Arnold was his wife. She was also a lawyer and economist who worked for Continental Resources and was a key contributor to its success. They married in 1988, had 2 daughters, and built their empire side by side for 26 years. But in 2012, their marriage unraveled, and what followed was one of the ugliest and most expensive divorces in US history. Harold wrote Sue Ann a personal check for $974 million. She refused to cash it, not because she didn't need the money, but because she felt she deserved more. She argued that her role in Continental Resources merited a larger share of the $13.7 billion fortune. After years of legal back and forth, Sue Ann finally deposited the check. The Oklahoma Supreme Court ruled that doing so was an acceptance of the settlement, and that was that. All told, she walked away with over $1 billion, making her one of the richest divorcees in the energy sector. But she didn't stop there. Sue-Ann later used her wealth to fund a political campaign that ousted the very judge who oversaw her divorce. Moving on now to Anna Murdoch Mann, whose divorce from media mogul Rupert Murdoch turned her into one of the richest women in the world. Rupert was the mastermind behind News Corp, an empire that includes the Wall Street Journal, the Times of London, and Fox News. He's long been a kingmaker in politics and media, with a net worth that once towered over $20 billion. Anna, a Scottish-born journalist, wasn't just the mother of his children, she was also a key advisor and board member in the early days. Married for 32 years, their union produced 3 children who later became players in the Murdoch media dynasty. But things fell apart in 1999, reportedly due to Rupert's affair with a much younger employee, Wendy Dang. The betrayal was bad enough, but what really raised eyebrows was how quickly Rupert remarried, just 17 days after his divorce from Anna was finalized. Anna didn't go quietly. She walked away with a $1.7 billion settlement, including cash and shares in News Corp. Adjusted for inflation, that's over $3 billion today. She kept the estate, cut her ties with News Corp, and retreated into a life of quiet wealth, philanthropy, and writing. Next up is Slavica Ecclestone, the statuesque Croatian model who made headlines when she married Bernie Ecclestone, the pint-sized Formula One mogul who turned motorsport into a multi-billion-dollar business. Bernie, who's 5'2" and known for being ruthlessly shrewd in business, married the much taller Slavica in 1985. Despite their differences, age, height, and temperament, they stayed married for 24 years, raising 2 daughters and living a life of lavish excess. But their union was far from a fairy tale. In 2009, she filed for divorce in London, a city famous for its generous divorce rulings in favor of wives. Slavica walked away with $1.2 billion in cash and assets, one of the biggest divorce settlements in UK history. She immediately set up a family office to manage her newfound fortune and has grown her wealth through strategic investments and low-profile living. Her daughters, Tamara and Petra, have become known for their extravagant lifestyles, from multi-million-dollar homes, private jets, and luxury fashion lines. But Slavica herself has stayed mostly out of the limelight. Next up is Irina Malandina. Before the world knew Roman Abramovich as the enigmatic owner of Chelsea Football Club or the yacht-collecting oligarch with a net worth that once made Silicon Valley types jealous, he was a rising Russian businessman with sharp instincts and impeccable timing. Roman built his empire during the chaotic post-Soviet privatization wave, grabbing key oil and metal assets at bargain prices. His most famous deal was Sibneft, the oil company he co-founded and later sold to Gazprom for a massive $13 billion in 2005. His financial empire expanded to include stakes in Evraz, steel, investments in aluminum, real estate spanning continents, and of course Chelsea FC, which he bought in 2003 and turned into a football dynasty before selling it in 2022 due to political pressures. At his peak, his net worth danced above $20 billion, but as of 2025, after sanctions and asset freezes tied to geopolitical ties, it hovers around $9 to $10 billion. Still nothing to scoff at. But going back to the early 90s, a young Roman met Irina Malandina, then a flight attendant for Aeroflot. They married in 1991, back when Roman was still building his fortune from the ground up. Irina, poised and elegant, was with him through the rough beginnings, staying mostly out of the limelight while raising their 5 children and managing the private side of a very public fortune. By 2007, Irina had had enough, especially with rumors of an affair. With quiet dignity and a legal team ready to roll, she filed for divorce. Despite Russia's typically conservative divorce laws, which aren't great for massive payouts, Irina wasn't walking away with crumbs. The settlement, while private and never officially disclosed, was widely reported to be around $300 million, though some sources speculate it could have been as high as $1 to $2 billion, especially after adjusting for inflation and asset transfers. She got the Kensington mansion, some key properties in Moscow, and enough cash to make her one of Britain's wealthiest women overnight. Post-divorce, Irina kept to her quiet ways. No tabloids, no TV appearances. But don't mistake that for inactivity. She's been living the high life in London, investing wisely, raising her children, and quietly supporting charities and education programs. Thanks for watching. Be sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, check out this video here.